I now turn to revenue measures, revenue projections. Mr. Speaker, with the policy measures and structural reforms highlighted above, we project total revenue corrections, including appropriations in aid for the financial year 2024-2025 budget, to be Kenya shillings 3,343.2 billion, equivalent to 18.5% of GDP. Of this, ordinary revenue is projected to be Kenya shillings 2,917.2 billion, equivalent to 16.2% of GDP. Ministerial appropriations in aid is projected to be 426 billion shillings. Grants to this budget are provided at Kenya shillings 51.8 billion, which is 0.3% of GDP. Expenditure projections. Mr. Speaker, total expenditure in the financial year 2024-2025 budget is projected at Kenya shillings 3,992 billion, or 22.1% of GDP. Of this, the recurrent expenditure will amount to Kenya shillings 2,840 billion, or 15.7% of GDP. The development expenditures, including allocations to domestic and foreign finance projects, contingency fund, and even equalization fund, is Kenya shillings 707.4 billion, equivalent to 3.9% of GDP. Total allocation to county governments is projected at Kenya shillings 444.5 billion, of which equitable share is 400.1 billion. Fiscal balance. Mr. Speaker, given the projected revenue grants against the projected expenditures, the fiscal deficit including grants is projected at 597 billion, equivalent to 3.3% of GDP, and this is down from Kenya shillings 925 billion, or 5.7% of GDP in 2023-2024. In this respect, the primary balance will improve to a surplus of 2.3% of GDP from a deficit of 0.4% of GDP in the current financial year. The fiscal deficit for 2024-2025 will be financed by net external borrowing of 333.8 billion, equivalent to 1.8% of GDP, and net domestic borrowing of 263.2 billion, which is equivalent to 1.5% of GDP. Public debt management. Mr. Speaker, Kenya meets its obligations promptly, and no debt arrears have been accumulated. Public debt is projected to remain within sustainable levels on account of fiscal consolidation path that reflects the decline in the ratio of debt to GDP in present value terms over the medium term. To improve Kenya's debt sustainability and boost our credit rating position, the government will continue to implement measures to enhance growth of foreign exchange earnings. Our medium-term debt management strategy aims at lowering the cost and risks in the debt portfolio. In this regard, the government will slow down uptake of new external commercial debt and undertake liability management operations through debt swaps and other innovative solutions. The government will also diversify sources of financing through issuance of Panda bond, Samurai bond, and Sukuk in diverse financial markets in China, Japan, and the Gulf regions respectively. The government will maximize use of concessional financing from bilateral and multilateral institutions to improve the debt sustainability and boost our credit rating. Let me turn